Yo, bro, I am so tight. My bets be godly. I swear, I'm only missing one out of like a 9-team parlay. I'm just donating to my local sports book. I'm so tight, man.
You gamble now? When did that start happening?
I've been gambling for like the last 3 months, just donating money, just, I'm about to just give away my house now.
So wait,
give away my cars.
Do you only use one sports book?
Yeah. I only use one.
Dude.
Why would I use more than one?
Dude, rookie mistake. The only way to really get an edge on the sports books and to really make money is you gotta have multiple accounts at different sports books.
Well, how would that help me?
Through that, you'll be able to get the best possible odds in your state for each bet. That's why I use Betstamp.
Well, what's Betstamp?
Future Russell, tell him.
Betstamp is the best free sports betting tool for casual bettors, sharp bettors, and everything in between. Designed to help people make more money, learn from their betting history, and gain an edge on the sports books, Betstamp helps users determine what to bet on, where to bet it, and how to track it.
Yeah, but dude, I don't even know anything about gambling, but I want to make some extra cash on basketball. So how do I do that?
Dude, don't stress, Fairy Pod Mother. Betstamp has the first ever peer-to-peer marketplace where you can buy picks from some of the best players in the industry.
Do you think you're an experienced sharp bettor? Make your picks public and sell your picks. The app ensures that each individual's pick seller's betting history is fully verified and can't be manipulated for the purposes of misleading a pick buyer. So it's super transparent. Plus, Betstamp doesn't charge a royalty, so you can keep everything you make on the market from the community. So what are you waiting for? If you want to become a sharper, more successful sports gambler, go to betstamp.app or search Betstamp on your app store.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Apex Greatness. I am your host, Russell Broderick. This way is Dario Albuquerque. Does it look like you're pointing in the right direction to me?
Yeah, I think we're pointing in the
There you go.
Right direction.
You got a point.
You pointed right. I messed that up. All right.
We got it. The off camera is the Fairy Pot Mother, Lindsay Lehman. And we are back with another weekly live stream. We started doing the NFL last week. And if we can go to our share screen page, as you'll see, we smashed last week. Crushed. Of our 13 picks, we hit on, I think, 10 of them? I think. I'm terrible at counting, but
you just told me like 2 minutes ago that we hit 10. So if we did,
yeah, pretty sure that's the number.
But we're back at it.
Vikings parlay more on Vikings parlay more on them later. Chiefs stuff more on them later, I would imagine. We've had a really good week, so I'm very much looking forward to getting back at it and looking at this week's game or slate of games for week 11 of the NFL. we're going to give you our top picks, and hopefully we can have a repeat deal of what happened last week. That's our goal. But Derek, you go first, dude.
So do we want to do one pick at a time?
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
All right, cool. So
Even if you have multiple picks from one game, that's okay too.
Yeah,
like whatever.
I got you. Each of them, I picked one pick from each game, and then like a 3-game parlay. So
okay, interesting.
So I went the quick and easy, New York Giants -3. I think that they have a very consistent defense, and I think that Detroit has a really bad running defense, and they have one of the best running backs in the league. So I feel, and their whole goal is to run the ball, play good defense, and that's exactly what they're going to do on Detroit. So I think that's a nice, easy pick.
Yeah.
So I like to go with the nice and easies, especially in a 3-team parlay, 4-leg parlay. Do something like that. Put $10 in, possibly get like 100 or something. That's what I like to do.
I have similar picks from this game because a lot of what I did in terms of my picks this week are kind of going to the well of last week, because a lot of the guys that we talked about last week are in good positions again this week. And Saquon Barkley absolutely falls into that category. As you just discussed, Lions, absolute white dog shit against running backs. Over 113 yards a game for the season. Let's go to like week 5. So last 5 weeks, they're still bottom 10. They're still over 100 yards a game. Almost 5 yards per carry. What were you going to say?
Who did the Lions just play again? I forgot.
So they played... Damn, I hate when you do this to me, because then I fucking can't remember. It's a 1 week at a time league, all right?
Yeah, no, right.
But I can get it. I can get it in 2 seconds. They played... As soon as I see it, I'm going to go, oh, they played the Bears. That's right, because Fields had another absolutely dominant rushing game. Now he has 2 top 10 all-time rushing performances in back-to-back weeks. That's fucking insane.
First quarterback to do that back-to-back 140-plus yards each. You already know.
Insane. But obviously, Detroit ran all over them. Or not Detroit. Chicago ran all over them. Yep. I expect Saquon, again, barring injury, I expect Saquon to hit his rushing total. Ooh, this 93.5, I think, is like a guarantee. Anything under 100 to me is, I think he's good for 100 yards this week. Again, I just don't see a universe where they screw that up unless they force Daniel Jones to beat them. That's the only but you have to be really committed. And I haven't seen this defense.
I feel like Detroit, they play like Detroit. The only thing that makes me nervous about the -3 for Giants is literally Detroit backdoor covers all the time.
Oh, but that's what I was going to say. They're so competitive this year. Their record doesn't show how competitive
they did that a lot last year too. Like last year, I remember there was always they had good games. The defense just didn't show up at certain times, and then they come back, and it looks like they're better than what they are. But I think backdoor covering -3 is tough because it's just like you have to to make it like a 1 or 2 point game. That doesn't happen as often. So I feel like the -3 makes me feel confident with the Giants.
Do you think Saquon gets in the end zone with his touchdown? I feel like if he's going to get over 100 yards, he's probably getting a touchdown. I'd be very surprised otherwise. And so does Vegas. Look at all these -200 in a couple of places in the big ones like DraftKings and FanDuel.
I would feel like if I was going against Saquon in fantasy, I would be nervous about that he's going to go off.
So let's throw this in. So we got Barkley over 100 yards, Barkley with a touchdown, and Giants to win.
Yep.
I think that's pretty solid. And if the Giants are going to win the game, that's going to be their formula. Yeah. Unless it's just like a fucking 6-3 game where it's all defense. And I just don't see that happening. I think that's pretty unlikely. That over 44.5 was interesting to me too, but I'm not as confident in it as I am in the 3 that we just did.
You gotta. I think it's trusting that Detroit is gonna play like good offense against I wouldn't say the Giants have a great defense, but their defense is solid. Like they're
Yeah, so you're
consistent.
right, and that's the thing. That's the thing that's troubling me with that matchup is I don't know whether Jared Goff and the Lions offense is actually superior to that Giants defense. I feel like they're
Yeah,
almost at similar levels. If we
yeah.
put it at like
Like
stat
I see
ratings, it
that
would be
being
like
like possibly like even a 17-10 game, 24-17, something like that.
yeah, I could see the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I could see the exact same thing.
The let's go over to the Dallas Minnesota game.
I'm
I
so
have
happy you and I are hitting the same games. This is
yeah.
great. I'm
Uh,
so happy because
so my
that's the
oh no,
can I talk about this one?
yeah, yeah,
Can I
sorry
throw
about
some
that.
shit?
Okay.
So I was massively on the Minnesota Vikings last week. I thought we put that parlay in that hit big, right?
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook running because the Bills they were giving up lots of rushing yards, and I don't know, it just seemed like fairly obvious to me. This game, I don't know how they are the underdogs going against the Dallas Cowboys. I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
At home.
That's insane.
That means that
It's
that
insane. They just
Cowboys
beat the
would be
Bills.
almost a touchdown favorite if it was at Dallas, which
I just don't.
they're not better. Like
Understand.
the Cowboys are not better than the Bills.
Who
Like
made these odds? And it's not like I know that we use Betstamp to find the best odds and the best all over the internet, right?
yep,
But nobody has them as the favorite. I don't understand that.
yeah.
I don't understand that. To your point, at home against the Dallas team that's good, but not like, I don't know. I don't look at them as outstanding. I don't think the Vikings are worse than them. Is anybody hurt? Am I missing something?
I think they're close. I want to say it's a 50-50 shot. I wouldn't just out like the reason. So my bet is Dalvin Cook over 78.5 yards.
Total yards or rushing yards?
Rushing yards, sorry.
Okay, interesting.
And the reason I went with that is because Green Bay just ran all over Dallas, and I think Minnesota could do similar. I think Minnesota has equal to better running backs in their backfield, and
yeah,
Dalvin Cook has had over 80 yards in 6 out of his 10 games. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to look at.
I look at it as you're going against a decent Cowboys defense, but I feel like, especially with the Cowboys pass rush, they're going to want to run the ball more. So then they could get Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I think there's only 4 games in total. And even with that, the 2 that he missed out, that he didn't make the 78.5, he was 2 to 3 yards off. So in reality, like he could have done that 8 out of the 10 times. So
yeah, you're getting your heart stomped into a million pieces on that one. Like if you're not getting like that, I think it's a good spot by Vegas. I get where you're coming from. Like you could totally get this. I love your logic for it.
Yeah,
but I could absolutely see this being one of those. You're sweating it in the fucking fourth quarter.
Yeah,
if the Vikings are up, they 100%. I think Dalvin Cook gets this. I like your logic.
Yeah, and my thing is, I think Dak is not like. I just don't feel like Dak is as good as people make him seem, and he might throw a pick. He might he's gonna.
Okay, so see, I had a different opinion on that one.
Yeah,
I had a slightly different opinion there because I was doing as I tend to do.
Yeah,
I'm doing my research. I like this lineups.com because they have pretty colors and they explain things to me like a grade school child. And I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at the fantasy points and I'm looking at yards allowed to wide receivers, and Minnesota is bottom outside of the Falcons, who give up the most. Minnesota, since week 5, has allowed over 200 yards a game to wide receivers, over 15 catches, and a touchdown every game. And Dak's passing yards, I have it in my own little book here, but his passing yards is 247.5. I could see him getting that. He's got Michael Gallup back.
Where you come from? I wasn't when I mentioned Dak. I wasn't saying he wouldn't meet his props. I was more so saying I think he's going to give them opportunity to be up in the game.
For sure.
Because of his, I feel like he's going to throw a pick at a wrong time. He's like make things just harder for them. I feel like that's how the Cowboys have lost this year. They've made it
Yeah.
harder for themselves when they lose.
Very true. And to that point, I feel like Minnesota hasn't screwed anything up. In that same light, I feel like Minnesota has been in a crazy position where they're just been this well-oiled machine all year, no matter who they go against.
Yeah.
It's
And you
just
want to know
like both ends of
I
the ball playing
I
amazing.
think that they are having like a really good balance because even with Dalvin Cook, if you look at his carries, it's not like he's carrying the ball much less than
Because
previous
I was
years.
going to mention that.
Yeah, but he's been efficient with his carries because he's allowed to be explosive with it because they have Madison who can just like be Dalvin Cook. Like you have two Dalvin Cooks and one is just better than the other. So you're giving him 2/3 of the carries, right? So you're giving him 2/3 of the carries rather than making him a full workhorse back.
Yeah.
And that's that's allowing Dalvin Cook to be healthy throughout the season.
Yeah.
Because usually by this point, you're going to see Dalvin Cook with some type of shoulder injury, leg injury, some type of shit. And it's not happening now because I think they're having proper maintenance on him. And along with him being able to just get the ball to arguably the best receiver in the league this year.
To your point, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. To your point, though, against the Cowboys in 3 games previously, Dalvin Cook almost 24 carries a game. Hasn't done that once this year. Has only hit 20 carries 3 times.
Yep.
So that's to your point. And that was actually going to be my counterpoint to Dalvin Cook hitting his rushing prop for this one was the Madison effect, because I think that could be a factor. But, I mean, last week he
had 14 carries for 100.
He had 14 carries and just was completely efficient with it.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
So, I definitely like his chances to get at least, what was the number? 70.
Yeah.
77
and if you look at
and a half, 78.
Yeah. When he's had 20 plus carries, it's not like he's automatically getting 100 yards. He's gotten 100 yards more with less than 20 carries this year than having 20 carries this year.
Let's look at Jefferson's props, because Cowboys are, I believe, middle of the pack against wide receivers. They're like dead center, but in the red zone, they're pretty bad. These are the red zone. This is their red zone total versus wide receivers. 29th in the league, 24th in general. To your point, Justin Jefferson's been a man amongst boys this year.
For the most part.
Had crazy
Unless he's going
games
against elite corners, then he has issues.
But, I mean, a little bit, but look at these numbers. Almost 100 yards in 6 straight games.
Yeah.
Outside of this 98 total, almost 100 yards in 6 straight games.
Yeah.
Cowboys is Diggs playing for the Cowboys this weekend? Stefan's brother, guy who gets all the interceptions.
I didn't hear that he was injured. Was he injured?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think Jefferson's prop is 90.
He can't lock up Jefferson.
Jefferson's prop is 94 and a half in some places. I'm gonna see if I can get 90 and a half.
If we have Cowboy fans watching later on, Trayvon Diggs is a ball hawk. He's not an elite lockdown defender. You have to know this. He got the ball. He's an
Asante Samuel more than he is a Champ Bailey for my historians.
He had like 15 interceptions last year and had probably like 20 touchdowns thrown on him last year too. Because he literally
that was always the case with Asante Samuel. He was like a legendary Eagle and Patriot.
Yeah.
Known for jumping routes.
Yeah.
Known for jumping routes. As opposed to Champ Bailey, you'd never really hear from Champ Bailey all game because no one was throwing anywhere near him. His side of the field was just non-existent. But I like the Vikings to win. I like Dalvin Cook, and I like the Jefferson over 90 specifically. Going closer to 100 is a little bit tougher, but as soon as I saw that 90, I felt like that's a shoot.
I'm not mad at the 90. I can't 100% say that because Minnesota's playing in like a middle slated, like I pay attention for that team in particular. Like, which kind of Kirk Cousins you're gonna get it's not
prime time. We're good.
Yeah, if it's prime time, we're worried. if
For very words.
you always bet against Kirk Cousins in prime time, you get free money. And so, but I'm not 100%. I think Dallas is good enough to win that game. So
I really don't think they're winning. I think Minnesota's just on an absolute tear.
Yeah,
I really
think,
believe that.
I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
A lot of their wins, they've won 7 games in a row now.
Yep.
And I don't know. I can't see them losing this game against the Cowboys. I'm shocked that the Cowboys are favorites. I think it's easy double your money if you just pick Minnesota will win. I really believe that.
I think it's because of Kirk Cousins' history against the Cowboys. I think he's had a very bad record against them.
Oh, so let's pull that up.
Part of it.
Let's pull that up. It'll show up right where. So, averaging about 264 yards and 10, because he used to play for the Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders. Yeah.
And, played against them twice a year all the time. Stats for 10 games versus the Cowboys. So, yeah, I mean, he's had his good games and bad games over the years.
Yeah.
Almost over 220 yards in almost every game except for 3 that are like hovering around the ends here.
Prop?
His prop for passing.
And I also wouldn't say any of those Cowboys teams had this kind of defense, though. I think the last 2 years, Cowboy defense has been probably their best in the last 10 years.
It's been very good this year so far.
Yeah.
Passing yards. 262.5. I think that's kind of high to take.
Yeah.
PointsBet has it at 255, but I still think it's kind of high.
Especially because I think they're going to want to run more.
I do too.
Cowboys.
I do too. I think that's been their formula over the years, hence Dalvin Cook's good numbers and high volume numbers.
Yeah, if you drop back a lot against the Cowboys, you have like Micah Parsons is like a freaking he just tries to tear up a game. So, and I feel like they're going to want to calm him down by running against him because that's actually one of his weaknesses. He sucks at the run game. So,
yeah. All right. I wanted to talk about one game, maybe one more game or 2 more games because I know we got to talk about the Chiefs, so we'll end with the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
We'll end with the Chiefs, but I really wanted to talk about this game in particular. I think it's a sleeper. I think it's a sleeper game.
That's my last bet.
This is amazing. We did not talk beforehand about what our games were going to be.
We do no pre-pro.
No, none. 0. Yeah. This is working out perfect. I love Cordell Patterson.
Oh, of course.
I think anybody that thinks that I don't know how when you watch Cordell Patterson play this year, you don't look at him as Derrick Henry light. He's got the dreadlocks like Derrick Henry. He's mowing motherfuckers over like Derrick Henry. When they get into the red zone, he delivers like Derrick Henry. Like, I love Cordell Patterson, and the Bears suck against the running backs in the red zone.
Let me also add,
the Bears suck against runners in the red zone.
While Russ is pulling this up, Cordero Patterson is on his fantasy team too. Just so everybody knows.
I was waiting for you to bring this up.
Do it all the time.
I haven't talked about anybody else on my team yet. I don't think. No, I don't think so. He's the only one that I have actual stakes in. His rushing yards is always like a guessing game for me because it's very much he's very much a red zone guy. And he gets me in trouble a lot because he's low yardage a lot of the time, but he gets in the end zone a lot. He gets in the end zone very often when he plays, especially this year.
Yeah. And
I love him to get in. His touchdown props are plus 162. That's if you can get plus odds anywhere on Cordero Patterson getting in the end zone today or on Sunday, you take that shit and run with it.
And Russ is going against me this week in fantasy, so that means he's definitely getting like 3 touchdowns. 100%.
Smacking that ass.
I think I'm
44.5 is tough.
Just because of that.
44.5 is tough for me. And I want really bad. My heart says pick it because he's got these big games here. But I think unless this game is going to be close, I don't see him getting the yards total. That's the only thing I could.
I feel you.
I could imagine.
So for me in this same game, I got over 69.5 rushing yards for my man Justin Fields.
Wait, what? Wait a minute. You have how many rushing yards?
Over 69.5.
Oh, I thought you said 16 and a half. I was like, who is giving that fucking prop?
No, 69.5.
Whatever sportsbook that is just trying to lose money.
And my stat for that, because I have a stat for every single bet that I do.
I mean, I would hope so.
Five of his last 6 games, he's had 69 over 70 rushing yards. So, and he's going against a bad Russian defense.
Another that's the running back.
So
right next to the Bears here in terms of red zone, Falcons.
Yeah.
Awful against runners.
Yep.
And I wanted to get their numbers against quarterback rushing. Just out of curiosity. Ooh. They are higher than average against quarterback rushing, but I don't think they've played a lot of running QB.
So that's what I looked at too, because I felt like
check that.
Yeah.
So who they play so far? So we got.
Yeah.
Tell me when you see one. I don't see any.
Yeah, you don't have any rushing quarterback. The
no
best
rushing
quarterback you had was probably Herbert, and he doesn't rush really at all.
Yeah, he doesn't fucking do that shit.
No, but I mean, like, if in terms of like who quality good runner, if he had to, it would probably be Herbert out of that group,
and that is saying a lot.
Yeah.
I think they haven't seen a guy like Fields yet this year. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And I think that could really hurt them. That's really interesting. I didn't
Fields
think about that.
Like, he's obviously
been on a fucking tear.
Yeah.
I doubted him really hard last week. I doubted him like aggressively because I just felt like, and I still kind of feel this way, that he's destined to have a stinker game. It's going to happen at some point.
100%. But my thing is, you go with where the odds show you, like where the odds are at. Last week, he had to get 240 total yards between passing and rushing, and he had done that in almost all his games.
Yeah.
And same thing here. Like for the last 5 out of the last 6 games, he's gotten the 70 rushing yards. So I feel like, and I think even the game that he didn't get it, he was close, I want to say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel pretty confident in him getting 70 rushing yards, especially after he just gave me 140 2 straight games.
Here's my ballsy pick from this game. They just traded for this man. I think the game plan for the Bears, and I'm guessing based on my football knowledge and experience, I would imagine they're trying to run as hard, like just pound the rock as much as they can, kind of like the way the Titans do, so that when they go to play action, they got Darnell Mooney and Claypool on each side to stretch the field and go deep and have big chunk plays off of play action. I feel like the more Chase Claypool gets accustomed to the offense, the more he's going to be out there, and his odds to get in the end zone because of his rough season so far this year are insane to me. And I think this is the team. I think the Falcons are the team because they're in Atlanta, right? So they're in a dome. You don't have to worry about weather.
Yep.
I love plus 485 Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
To get in the end zone. I just think they're going to try and get their traded guy more involved as we keep going.
And remember, guys, that plus 485 depends on where what state you're betting in. So
very true, but it's basically plus 250 or higher everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that it's worth putting in some money for it.
I think I just think with those odds, you put in $10 to win $30. Like I'd be happy with that. That's one of those bets you do, like, oh, at least if I do this, I can clear I can cover the money I spent today or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking but I really like that. I really like those bets. I added those to our Betstamp account. Please check out our Betstamp account. If you do not have a Betstamp, if you're not part of the Betstamp Nation over here, use the code APEX, APEX.
Yeah.
When you sign up, let them know Apex Greatness sent you. It's all free. And this site is great. I've had a lot of fun using it since we've started this journey. with the
Yeah.
good
And
folks at Betstamp.
it makes you more money. Why wouldn't you like it?
Fucking, it's making me more money. If last week was any indication, it's helping me immensely. So
Yeah.
I can just speak from a personal standpoint. I'm a user of this app when the cameras are off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I very much stand by it. But
yeah, for sure.
I would be remiss if we did not talk about this game before we signed off.
Oh,
I know you got to have something.
I don't have
'Cause
anything on the game.
You don't have anything.
That's why I was
Really?
confused why you said Chiefs. I was like, I wore it just more so to show some love to my KC boys, Housemeister, my homeboy,
I got some stuff.
I got some Tiger stuff. Motherfucker, we about to eat y'all up. Pause.
So we started this show at 5:30. As of like 5:15, all of the Chargers wide receivers are a go for Sunday night. They practiced today, Friday, and it looks like Justin Herbert's going to get his weapons back against the team. It's a short list of division matchups that I find more entertaining over the last few years than Chargers and Chiefs. Like since Mahomes took over, even before Herbert, since Mahomes took over, these Charger-Chiefs games have been a lot of fun. And then when Herbert took over, they've been so competitive.
Yeah.
So competitive. And Herbert always shows out in these games. Always.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of props up because Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and all these guys have been injured.
Yep.
But I will say
they literally
that I think
my bad. I was going to say they didn't just 3 hours ago. They didn't even have the player props up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know who was playing, and I get it. But I really like. I would imagine Herbert's prop is probably going to be close to 250. I hate guessing. I really hate guessing with a passion. But if it's anywhere near 250, take that shit, because I think Herbert's throwing for 300 yards with his guys back, and I think this is going to be a shootout. I think 52 is probably pretty close to where it's going to be. I don't think they disappoint here in prime time.
Yeah.
Really don't. What is
I will say that the Chiefs defense has been surprisingly very stingy this year, which I always just think of them as a mediocre defense, but they've been playing pretty good. So
they're terrible against the run. They're horrible against the run, though.
Yeah, but they've always been like that, though. They do that on purpose. They set it up because they know that Mahomes is going to go up. You're not going to really run the ball, so they're going to try. Yeah,
it's definitely a funnel for sure. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let's look at the quarterback position.
But if you pay attention, if watching the game, when it's those plays when it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and they're trying to run the ball, a lot of the times the Chiefs stuff them because they have pieces to stop it, like Chris Jones, Frank Clark. Now you're making me do my whole Chiefs fanboy thing. I'm not trying to.
You had to do it. What do you mean? You had to do it. That's what we're here for. You're dressed from head to toe in Chiefs merchandise.
Man. We walking these niggas down, man. Come on.
I don't think so, bro. Huh? I don't think you're losing, but I think it's going to be really competitive.
By a touchdown. I promise you. It's a walk.
So you would take this 4.5?
100%. I'm taking that plus the one over the 52. Because it is going to be a little bit of a shootout, but it's going to be a walk.
I think it's a 24-27 game.
Yeah, it's going to be
or higher.
Well, so I was about to say because 24-27 doesn't make it 52.
No, but it's going to be. But that's why I said 50. It's going to be around.
Yeah, I got it more let's go. I got 30, 35 to maybe 28. I'm cool with that. 35, 28. It could be even I'm not mad at 35-30. I can see that too.
I think Mahomes getting 3 touchdown passes. I would put Justin Herbert's touchdown passes in the same position. I can't pick his, but I think they're both throwing. I think it's going to be a quarterback showcase.
What are the receptions?
I really do.
For Kadarius Toney?
Good question.
I'm curious to see.
Longest receptions, touchdown receptions. They have receiving yards. It's 52.5, which is insanely high in my opinion.
I would go with that. I would go.
You'd go with that?
Yeah. They don't have Mecole. They just lost Juju. He just had a monster game against whatever these motherfuckers are. And then
4 for 57 and a touchdown. It's an okay game, but
yeah.
I think
Well, think about it. Look at his opportunity, and he had 33 rushing yards as well.
yeah,
Like
they're definitely trying to get him involved.
yes, they gave him 6 opportunities or 7 opportunities, and he got you almost 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And you give him more opportunity because Juju's out, and that's one of their possession guys. And
Juju's
then you
for
also,
sure out. That came
yeah,
out. Juju's for sure out.
they a couple hours ago that it came out. He's out because he got
And
concussed.
Mecole is
Remember?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And then Mecole is on IR.
Yeah,
so
that was
he's out.
crazy. That Jacksonville game was wild, man.
Yeah. And he what was I gonna say? Mecole's out because he's on IR, so he's out for at least 4 games. We only have Scantling, Tony, and Sky Moore. So if I'm
What
looking
is
at those
Sky Moore's
receivers
odds?
and not including Travis Kelce, the guy that's going to be getting those receptions and those touches, in my opinion, is going to be Tony.
I'm not against that. This is another tempting one. Sky Moore in prime time.
Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Remember Chris Connolly? When Chris Connolly used to play for you guys?
Yeah.
And would always go off in prime time?
Yeah. But
Just saying.
I'm
just saying. I'm not saying surefire.
I would
Let's
go
do it.
Marquez.
I'm saying Marquez. I'm not
Yeah.
against that either, but he was kind of banged up too this week. And he was banged up in that game too because he kept going in and out of the game. I remember because I had touchdown odds.
He
on
was
him.
on the injury report, but it was for illness.
He was my guy last week that I'm saying with Sky Moore now. I just had a feeling about MVS getting in the end zone last week. I was like, the boy is due.
I
Against
think
Jacksonville, he was due.
Kelsey's probably gonna get in the end zone, especially because he's playing me. And then but I do think
And take away Juju to be in the middle. I feel like it's more yards for Kelsey too. 79 and a half. I think he's good
that's
for.
where I think Tony is taking that role because the way that they have it set up with the Chiefs, their possession guys are Juju and Travis Kelce. And you got the deep threats, Mecole and Marquez. So I think the way that they divvy it up is have Tony be one of the possession guys because Valdez Scantling is not a possession guy. He's supposed to be the deep threat. So
Last question because I think this is important and it's kind of important for my fantasy team. So I figured I'd ask. Do you think Keenan Allen actually plays his regular amount?
Oh yeah, I hope so. I think he could have played last week, but I think they held him out for this game. They do that. I feel like
he's got pretty damn good numbers against KC. I'm pretty sure.
I think he's fine.
If he's gonna play, he's averaging in 13 games versus the Chiefs because they're in division, obviously.
Yep.
Almost 72 yards a game, over 6 catches. And he's had some 100-yard performances, gotten in the end zone a lot recently in their Herbert-related games. His touchdown odds are going to be the highest. If he is back, they're not going to get any higher after this week, rather.
Wait,
so it's another guy.
This is at Chargers?
Yes, but that doesn't matter. It's like half Kansas City fans.
Yeah, I know.
In LA, they're very much traveling.
And I also just realized we beat them earlier this year, so they usually split, especially since Herbert's been like the quarterback. We usually split with them, so that Chargers money line might be a nice little bet there because I do get a little nervous with the Chargers, but
why don't you just figure plus 5.5?
Nah, I'd rather the money line to try to go for it all because. More than likely, if they're gonna win, they're gonna win.
You could alternate it though to plus 3 and probably get good odds. You could probably get plus 100 odds on plus 3 based on this.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're looking at alternate, I'm not against what you're saying.
I don't.
I have faith in your squad.
Even though I just said that we're gonna beat them by a touchdown, which I truly in my heart do believe it. But I could see the other side of the coin where. The Chargers always get up for this game. This is similar.
And they're going to get up because they're finally healthy. They're going to get up because they're going to get up because their offense is finally healthy. And just to your point, your offense is not that healthy.
Yeah, And
That's
then,
interesting.
and that's the part that I love about my homeboy. Just so I could go a little rant.
Here we
But
go.
you know, my homeboy loses arguably the best receiver in the league, right? You know, we trade him, you know, for shits and giggles, whatever. And everybody looks at it as, you know what, these guys are gonna be bad this year. They have a tougher division, the Chargers. You know, Raiders just went crazy with their offseason. Oh my God, Denver got freaking Russell Wilson, and guess what? It didn't.
Can't even remember Broncos plays. He's yelling out Seahawks audibles.
Yeah, and then guess what? My homeboy said, "Fuck what y'all think. I'm about to win a whole MVP." And this is gonna be the situation right now. That's him putting his dick on the table and saying, "Fuck all y'all hoes. This is my MVP performance." Yeah, I lose 2 of my receivers. We just get a brand new guy, and I'm gonna make him look like a superstar. And we about to win this game. All these motherfuckers is hoes. That's what my homeboy is saying. And then he gonna get in the That's what we doing.
It's like I'm done. It's like I'm done. I said it. I'm with it.
I promise you, that's what's happening. This is gonna be MVP. I mean, my homeboy's solidification of his MVP, because he's already MVP right now. Through 10 games, there's no doubt about it that he's MVP. But this is gonna solidify it. You're welcome.
So, on that note, we have. I think we're missing one. But we did the Vikings game too. I don't know where that is, but
it's fine.
We have Cordero Patterson and getting in the end zone. Justin Fields over 70 rushing yards and Chase Claypool getting in the end zone. We have Giants covering their spread. Saquon Barkley over 93.5 yards, rushing yards, and getting in the end zone himself. Kansas City, we got Mahomes over 2.5 touchdown passes. Kelsey over 80 yards. Keenan Allen getting in the end zone. And for Minnesota, I believe we have Minnesota W, Dalvin Cook over 78 yards, right? That was it?
78.5, I think.
78.5 yards. And I think that was, and then Dak Prescott over 240 something. I don't know why it's not here. I'll try and get it, and if I can get it, I'll put it in the post edit of this program.
Yeah,
if I really want
to follow us on Betstamp's website or app.
Yes,
and follow our bets so we can make you guys money, and follow Betstamp so they can make you money too. You know,
facts. Here's our profile. Please follow us. Please go check out Betstamp. Make sure to use the code APEX. Let them know that we sent you. I'm Russell Broderick. Above me is the great Dario Albuquerque. Well, now you fucked it up. Thanks, Lynn. Fucking made a switch hard. Fucking this way is Dario Albuquerque. Off camera is the fairy partner Lindsay Lehman, and we are saying,
hey guys, if you like what you heard, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Just type in Apex Greatness on YouTube to see everything we put out this year, from legacy breakdowns to current NBA and NFL content. We have over 150 videos to binge if you're that type of person, or just to listen to in your spare time. We have about 2 to 5 hours of new content every week. Check us out. Later.